Hello everyone, hope you're all doing good and great. So in this video I'm just going to make sure that I make it quick, okay, and try to show you how you need to do our assignments, okay, which we've been doing in class. So make sure you will be doing the same thing, okay, exactly, and keep in mind what we've just said in class. So make sure you come like tomorrow having working like everything running as expected. So you're going to configure static routing as well as DHCP, and at the end you're going to look at how to configure an access points. Okay, so I will just be quick since you are just you will be using this video. Please, you have to pause and then do what I'll be doing. Okay, so without taking much time, let's just dive in. So we need to have 3 routers. Okay, so PT router, let me choose PT router. So here's the topology. Okay, and again we need to have the switch. So let me just choose PT switch. Okay, it's not PT empty, it's, so I'm going to delete this. Okay, and then I use PT switch. So each router has 2 switches except the one above. Okay, so by having this done, we need to assign the PCs on each and every switch, 2 PCs, okay, and 1 PC above, and then we need to connect. So allow me to connect using automatic way. Okay, so and as well I need to connect these PCs. Okay, and then by having this done, please again follow this video regardless of how we have been doing this in class. Please ignore what we did, like how we've assigned the network on this topology. So ignore how we've just did that in class. So make sure you use what we have now. Okay, so make sure you use what we have now. Okay, so having this done, I need to assign the network. Okay, so let me just give here 192.168.10. Sorry, so .10.0. Okay, as well as here to assign and give it at the top, and just going to give you 64, as well as here we need to assign a 96. So as well as here we need to use 128. So here we'll have 160. Here we're going to have something like 192, and here we're going to have 224. Okay, so actually I have here slash, but you can just remove it. Okay, so this will not affect our topology actually, so you can just remove it. Where you have slash, then remove it. Okay, then dot. Okay, fine. So by having this done, tugiye configuring ano interfaces. Okay, so here we have first 0/0 iri gukoresha iyi network ya 10.0, and here we have first 1/0 iri kuri network. So we have serial 2/0 kuri network, and as well as this serial 3/0 kujya kuri network. So what you're going to do, we are going to configure those interfaces. Okay, so we need to get into this router, then we do we go to CRI, and then we hit it. We need to specify no. Okay, so by getting into this, so we need to do enable, then configure terminal. Okay, then hit enter, and then by having this, we need to get into this interface, first one, which is first Ethernet 0/0. So we need to do int. Then, so let me expand this to make sure at least we see what we will be doing. Okay, okay, fine. So we need to get into this first Ethernet 0/0, then hit enter. Oh, sorry, interface. Okay, first 0/0, we get into it, then we do no shut. So by hitting enter, we're going to get this interface turned on. Okay, so hit enter, and then we need to assign the IP address 192.168, sorry, .168.10.1. okay, since we're going to use 1 because we are on this network, and we've seen that the first IP address to be used on this network will be 1, space 255.255.255, subnet mask will be 224. Okay, and then again we get into this interface, first 1/0. Okay, this one. Okay, so we need to get out of this, and then do interface first 1/0. Okay, then hit enter, do not shut. Okay, we turn it on, then assign the IP address to that interface. So we are using 10, we have 32, so we are just going to add 1 on 32, and this will just be as a default gateway. So we need to have 33. Okay, space 255.255.254. Then hit enter. So by having this done, we need also to configure these two other interfaces here above. Okay, so allow me to delete this one for me to make sure which interface is serial 2/0, but I think this is the one. Okay, so I think that's the one, so I need to click here there, and then if I do again exit, then if I do interface serial 2/0, if I hit enter and then I do not shut, okay, and then I assign the IP address 192.168.10. so on which network? On 160, so I need to put 161.161, so it must be this. Okay, 224, then I do exit. Okay, and then again I need to get into this interface as well. Okay, which is on .64, so I need to do interface and then serial 3/0, and then hit enter, and then we do not shut as well, and then we assign the IP address. Okay, 192.168.10.65. okay, since we are on this network 64, and the first IP address to be used under this network will be 65, then 255.255.255, okay, .224, then I hit enter, and then we are done with this first router. Okay, so we're going to get on the second router, so I need to save what I did, do right. Okay, so by having this done, so I need to get into this router as well, and then I need to configure these interfaces first. Okay, so you can start with whatever you want, enter, then configure terminal, enter, and then having this done, I need to get into this first interface, first 0/0 interface, 0/0, sorry, it's first 0/0, then I hit enter, and then I need to expand it like this. Okay, so I need to assign the IP address 192.168.10.1.97. okay, space 255.255.254, then hit enter, then I do not shut. Okay, then I exit again. I do the same on this interface, first 1/0, then to do interface first 1/0, then hit enter, and then I need to do no shut. Okay, so as well as assigning the IP address to that interface. So IP address 192.168.10. Since we have 128, so we need to do 129 as the first IP address to be used on this network, space 255.255.255.224, then hit enter, then we are good to go. So by having this done, okay, so I also have to configure this interface, so allow me to delete this one for me to make sure, because the interface name, they are just overlapping. Okay, so I can delete the one here, this interface that I'm having there, so I can delete it, and I'm going to remain with this 3. Okay, so I need to click again on it, and then by having it, I need to do exit interface. I need to get into that interface, which is serial 193/0, then hit enter. I do no shots, okay, and then I assign IP address, okay, 192.168.10. It's under 64. 65 we have used it on this interface, so here we are just going to use 66, okay. Dot 66.255.255.255.224, and I hit enter. Then I do exit out as well. So by having this done, I can bring back this path, okay. So I can do either Control Z and it comes back, and I need to get again into the interface, which is serial 2/0, which goes up, okay. So interface serial 2/0, then I hit enter, then I need to do no shut, okay. Then by hitting no shut, I need to assign the IP address 192.168.10.1. So it's under which network? 192, okay. So which means 193 will be the first IP address, 193. Then subnet mask. Then I hit enter, and then I do no shut, and then exit, then do right, okay. So we are done with this network, I mean with this router as well. So we're going to get into this router, the one above, okay. So we are heading to this router, okay. So this interface is for this path, this interface for this one, and first 0/0 for the one we have here. So let's start with this one, serial 2, okay. So I need to do node, then I hit enter, then I do enable configure terminal, then I hit enter, and then I get into that interface serial 2 slash, so let me try to make it big, okay. Okay, fine. So it's 2/0, then I hit enter, then I do no shut, okay. So then I assign the IP address to it, 192.168.10. So we have 160. So we have used 161 here, so we need to use 162 there above, okay. So we want to have something like this, okay. .162.255.255.255.224. Then hit enter, and then I do exit. I get into the other interface, which is serial 3/0 interface, serial 3/0, then I hit enter, then I do no shut as well, okay, and then I do IP address, then I do 192.168.10. So on which network are we on? So we're on this network 192. So we have just used 193 here, so which means on this interface you're going to use 194, okay, as the address of that interface, 255.255.255.224. Then I hit enter, and then I do exit, and then I do right to save what I did. So actually we are remaining with this one more interface, first 0/0. So I need to get into that interface as well. First, then 0/0, then IP address 192.168.10. Dot 225 space 255.255.254, okay. Then I hit enter, then no shots, okay. So actually we are done with everything, we are done with configuring interfaces, okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to do routing, static routing, okay. So as we discussed in class, routing, I'm just going to start with this router, okay. And by starting with this router, I need to check the remote networks under this router, okay. The remote networks on this router. So we have directly connected networks, which is this one, this 64, and as well as this 160, okay. So these are the directly connected networks, since they are directly connected to this router. And this router also has the remote networks, so which this one, this one, this one, and this one. So these are the networks which are not connected directly to this network, so we call them remote networks. Okay, so by having this done, allow me to open a notepad. I'm just going to use a notepad. Okay, so this is router 1. Okay, router 1 configuration. Okay, okay, fine. Static routing, let me do this. Static routing. Okay, so let me just use a notepad to make it very clear. So, okay, so we are on this router. Okay, we are on router 1. That's my router 1. Okay, so by name, as you can see here. So let's do this. So router 1, we have identified the remote networks. So those remote networks will be the destination networks. Okay, so to do static routing, we need to do IP routes. Okay, IP routes, and then space. So we are going to first configure this route. Okay, which goes here to 10.96. Okay, we are only using remote networks of this network, I mean this router. This will be the first one, second, third, and this will be the fourth. Okay, so we need to do IP route. Okay, and then we specify this 10.96 as the destination IP address, so 192.168.10.96. You write it as it is, and then specify the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.224, and then specify the next hop. Next hop will be the interface, which next hop of this router on this path will be this one. Okay, will be this one. Will be this this interface at the extremity of this router on this path. Okay, so since we're going to configure this path as well as this path, so that in case this fails, this one is going to work. Okay, so let's first start with this interface. Okay, so we have given this interface, we gave it 192.168.10. Let me check, I think it's 66. Okay, so let's check. So to check that, you can add a points on your router, and then you see we have 66 there. Okay, so we gave it 66. Okay, and then sorry, to bring back my pad, where is it? Here it is. Okay, so we are going to use this as our next hop for now. Okay, and then we need to copy this instead of just rewriting it. Then we paste it here. So we need also to configure this route, which goes here on 10.128. Okay, so we need to change only this. Put 128, and then we paste again down here. We also configure this route, which is 129. Okay, as well as this one above here. Okay, so which is 224. Okay, so actually this is the route configuration using static routing under this path. Okay, by passing through this path. Okay, so the reason why we don't have this being changed, it's because whenever we send packets from either this network or this network to reach these remote networks using this path, the first gateway, okay, the first gateway will be this one. Like the first gateway to reach this router will be this interface. That's why we no longer have to change this, because if you want to send packets here, it's going to get out of this network, passing through this interface, as well as to reach here. Of course, it's going to pass through this interface, as well as to reach here, it's going to pass through this interface. Okay, as well as to reach here, it will pass through this interface. Okay, so we have done this way. Okay, so we're going to this way. Okay, so in case this one fails, this one is going to act like a backup. Okay, so if I can say, so I can copy everything I have here instead of just writing again manually. I can copy it. Sorry, I can copy it. Okay, and then paste it down here. So we need to only change the next hop. Okay, we need to change this next hops. Okay, because now the next hop, since you're using this path which is under this network, so we need to configure 162, the IP address you configured there. Okay, it's going to, let me check it again, serial 2/0, serial 2/0, it's going to have 162. Okay, so which means instead of having again this 60 something 66, you're going to have 162 as well as here 162. Okay, as well as here 162 and 162 as well. So we are done with this first router. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and paste them in this router, but before we do that, allow me to finish even the other routers. Okay, so let's just go to this router. Okay, router 2, we have router 2 as well. Okay, so we need to identify which remote networks are on this router. So the remote networks, as I said before, it's any network which is not directly connected to this router, so which means the remote networks of this router will be 0, 32, 160 and 224, since others they are directly connected to this router. So again, we are going to start the routes, okay, on this network. By having this done, you're going to also have this network, and you configure this network as well, the route to this network as well as to this network, passing through this path. Once we're done passing through this path, we're going also to configure again this path. Okay, so that in case any of these two paths fails, the other one will be just there to back up. Okay, so I need to do again IP routes. Okay, and then what is the destination IP address? We're going to start with this one, 10.0. So it's going to be 192.168.10.0. Okay, space 255.255.255.224. And the next hop for it's going to be this one. The next hop, next router. Since you're using this path, the next hop will be this one. And have configured there 65. Okay, 192.168.10.65. Okay, having this done, I need to copy this as well, and then I change only this. I change the destination networks, so I need to put 32 for this, and then I paste again. I edit this. I put 160 for this network. Okay, so again I need to paste again, and I add this one 224. Okay, so by having this done, I need to copy everything. Okay, sorry, I need to copy everything that I have here, and then I need to paste it down here. And by pasting it, you're going to configure also using this path. So by using this path, what will be the next hop? Next hop will be 194, since it's the one I have configured here on this interface. On this interface, 3/0. So you're going to change this 65 to 194. Okay, 194. So you can just check. So you're going to find it that you're going to find that we have used 194. Okay, so as well as here we need to put 194. Okay, so by having this done, we are done with both routers. So allow me to paste them after configuring as well this last one. Okay, so the last one will be router 0, as you see by name. Okay, router 0, and then we are going to have something like this. So on router 0, we're going to have 5 remote networks. 5 remote networks. What are they? So we have this one, so they are all the networks which are not connected to this router. So we have this one, as well as this one, fourth, and then fifth. So which means we have to configure, like we have 5 routes. Okay, so we're going to do IP routes. Okay, sorry, it's IP routes. Okay, space. So we are starting with this remote networks. This one, which starts with 0, which has 0, as well as this 32, 64, 96, then 128, and then we'll be good to go. And you're going to first configure this path. Okay, we're going to first configure this path. So by having this path done, we're going to also to configure this path, so that in case for like it's our redundancy purpose. Okay, so we need to do IP routes, and then we do the first one will be 0, so we have to do 192.168, so 68.10, okay, dot 0 space of 55.255.255.224. The next hop will be 192.168.10.161, since we have 161 here. So next hop of this router passing through this network will be this one. Okay, and then having this done, I need to copy it as well, and then I paste it down here. I only edit this last, this destination, I put that 2, as well as I need to edit as well this one. I need to put 64, okay, and I need to also specify this one, so we are up to here, which is 96, as well as this one, 96, so we are going to have 128, okay, 128, and then we are done with this path. So we are going to go to this path. Okay, so I need to copy everything. Okay, instead of just typing it manually, I need to copy everything here, and then by having this done, I need to paste it here, and then I just edit this next hop. So the next hop of this router under this path will be 193, since we have configured it here. So if I do enable, then show IP interface with, if I hit enter, so we're going to have 193 on this serial 2/0. Okay, so serial 2/0 is here, so we have configured it with 193. Okay, so I need to come back again here, and then I remove 161, I put 1 and 3, as well as here 1 and 3, 93, 93, 93. And then by having this done, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to copy and paste what I did in the respective routers. So these configurations are for the router 1, so I need to copy this. Okay, I need to copy this, so I need to copy this. Okay, so I can copy it, and then I need to go to router 1. So here is my router 1. Router 1 is here. Okay, so I need to make it big, so do enable configure terminal. Okay, then I need to paste it here. So to paste it, actually you can't just use any shortcut of pasting what you copied from the notepad, unless you click here. You need to click here and paste. Okay, so do I have everything pasted there? Yes, I need to hit enter, and I can even do right. Okay, and then again I need to copy this, what I have here. Okay, so this is router 2 actually. This is router 2, so I need to copy everything again here. To copy it, okay, and then router 2 is here. So I need to do configure terminal, then hit enter, then I paste everything there. Okay, yes, I hit enter, then I do right. Okay, as well as router, the last router, I have something like this, so I need to copy everything. I need to copy everything that I have here. I need to copy it, okay, and then I paste it in this router. Okay, I need to do enable, then configure terminal, enter, then I paste it. Then we are going to go to it. So am I able to ping? So am I able to ping? So let me test. Let me assign a static IP address on this router, on this PC, and then as well as I will be configuring the static IP address of this PC, and then I try to ping each other. Okay, so if it works, so we are going to make sure that even the other PCs will be able to ping each other. So I need to click here, and then I need to come in IP configuration, IPv4 addressing. So I need to put 192.168.10. Since it's under this network 0 and we have used the 1, so we have used 10.1 as its default gateway here, so I can just start by 2. Okay, then I copy this, so subnet mask will be 224, default gateway will be the one we configured here. Okay, so which is 1. Then we are done. Okay, so as well as this PC, we need to give it a static IP address. Desktop IP configuration static will be 192.168.10.22. So we have used 225. We have assigned it to this interface first 0/0. So we can start again from 225. Okay, and then it's sorry, they're telling me that it's in use, so I need to give it 226. Sorry, it's 10.226. okay, and then subnets will be 224, and default gateway will be the one we have configured here on first 0/0, so which is going to be 225 as well, and then we are done. So let's ping. So this has 226. okay, so let's just ping it, try to ping it and see if it's going to work. So if it works, we are good. If it fails, so we have to troubleshoot. okay, if we do ping 192.168.10.226, if I hit enter, so am I able to ping that PC? If yes, we are good. If no, okay, we are good to ping. okay, so this we have sent 4 packets. okay, so received it's 3 packets, so and 1 was lost. The reason why 25% was lost was because it was still in sync mode. okay, so if I try to rerun the command again, all the packets will be sent. okay, sent 4, lost have 0, and then you have received 4 packets. So we are done with static routing. So you can even assign statically the IP addresses to this machine based on their networks, and you can be able to ping. So what you're going to do now, you're going to configure what we call a DHCP. So what is a DHCP? DHCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol. It's a protocol which helps us to assign the IP addresses automatically, so without doing it manually. okay, so for example, if I click on this PC and IP configurations, if I click on DHCP, if I enable it, it's going to fail, and I'm going to get an APIPA address. okay, so you see, so DHCP failed and APIPA is being used, which is in this range. So APIPA, it's automatic private IP address, automatic private protocol address. So this is an address which a device receives when a DHCP fails to work. okay, when a DHCP server fails to work. So we're going to configure DHCP so that once we click here on this DHCP, you're going to get automatic IP address. okay, so without doing it manually. okay, so how to do that? So we need to click on each, and of course we have to configure DHCP on each and every router, but again we have another way we do this. okay, so by using a DHCP relay, so you can have one server, like you can just make this router server, and by making it a server, you can just these 2 other routers can act as relay agents. So as long as this PC requests an IP address from this router, since this router it's a relay agent, not a DHCP server, it's going to request the IP address from this router, and once it receives it, it's going to forward it to this PC. So that's how the DHCP relay works. okay, so for now you don't have to know about DHCP relay. For now you have to understand DHCP itself, how it works, how to configure it. okay, so to configure DHCP, you need to go to this router. So let's first deal with this first router. okay, so to configure DHCP, how do we do it? okay, so allow me to start from scratch. So enable configure terminal. Then we need to create, okay, before even we create a pool, we can even exclude some IP addresses. okay, so like for example, since you have used one here, so we can tell this server, this router, as long as you'll be providing an IP address to any device, you don't have to start from this. okay, so you can exclude some IP addresses. So how to do that? You can do IP DHCP exclude, and then specify the range of the IP addresses you want to exclude, so that the server, the router, will not be able to assign those IP addresses to any device. To do that, you can do 192.168.10. Let's say 1 from 1 up to 3. Okay, from 1 up to 192.168.10.3. Then hit enter. So this means from an IP address of 1 up to 2, up to 3, this, which means 1, 2, and 3 IP addresses will not be allocated by the server. Okay, so by having this, we need to create a pool. So take a pool as a store or a database which is going to store the IP addresses which will be offered by the router. To create a pool, you can do this IP DHCP pool. Okay, so let's just call it LAN1. Okay, then hit it. So you can just call it whatever name you want and then specify the network. Network will be 192.168.10.0 since we're going to start with this network, so that the devices under this network they can receive automatic IP addresses. Okay, then space, you also have to specify the subnet mask 224, then hit enter. You need also to specify the defaults. Okay, it's a must so that it may know where to forward that IP address. So 192.168.10, so .10. Default router will be the interface, the IP address you have assigned to this interface, first 0/0, which is going to be 1, then hit enter. You can even specify DNS. You can even say that as long as you have a DNS server, you can even try to include it in your DHCP configuration. So for now, since you don't have a DNS server, so we can just use a default Google DNS server, which is 8.8.8.8. Then hit enter. Then exit, and then by having this, let's also configure the DHCP for this network. So we need to first exclude some IP addresses, IP DHCP exclude, then we specify. So since we have used 33, so we can exclude it. We can say that you router, as long as you will be allocating the IP addresses to the end devices, you are not allowed to allocate the IP address in this range. Which range? 192.168.10.33 space 192.168. So we try to bring it here. Dot 35. Let's just stop by them. Then hit enter. So actually I forgot to add 10.35. Okay, then hit enter. And then I need to create a pool. IP DHCP pool. So let's just call it LAN2. Then enter. We specify network. Network will be 192.168.10.32. Okay, since we are just working on this network. Okay, and then by having this done, I can be able to even to specify the subnet mask. Okay, then hit enter, and then as well I can specify the default router. So default router for this network will be 192.168.10.33 since the one configured here on this interface, first 1/0. Then you need to hit enter, then do exit, then do right. This is what you're supposed to do. So can you test it if it's working now? If again I click here, IP address, you see we have the IP address which belongs to this network, as well as default. So I don't know the reason why my DNS was not allocated, but I will check. So try to refresh it and see. Okay, fine. So we also have our DNS server 8.8.8.8. So the DHCP request successful. So as well as on this piece, we are going to get the same thing. So actually, we have excluded from 1 up to 3. Okay, so you see the first IP was 4 because you have said you don't have to allocate the IP address which ranges from 1 up to 3. Okay, so the router itself, it's going to know that it has to start on 4. Okay, so as well as this one, so we need to enable it to enable DHCP successful, and it's going to have 5 DNS get default as well as subnet mask. So you can do the same as well on this. Okay, desktop IP configuration, then the DHCP. We're going to have the IP address automatically, IP configuration, DHCP. So we're going to have the same thing as well, i7. Okay, so since we have said that, so on this we have said we have to exclude up to 35, and the router started with 36. So we are going also to deal with these two other networks. Okay, so under this router. So as well, what we did on the previous router, we're going to do the same on this router. Okay, so we need to do enable, enter, configure terminal, then enter, then we can exclude some IP addresses. We can say IP DHCP exclude 192.168.10. We can say from 97, okay, up to 192.168.10, but let's say up to 100. Okay, then hit enter. Sorry, and then we need to do IP DHCP pool LAN. Let's just call it LAN 3. Okay, then hit enter. We specify the network. Okay, network will be 192.168.10. This one. Okay, we're starting with this one, which is 96. 96. We have to write it as it is. It's a network. Okay, space, not IP address, space 255.255.255.224. Then hit enter. So having this done, so we also need to specify the default. Default will be 192.168.10.97. Okay, since it's the one you have configured here on fast 0/0. Okay, then we need to hit enter, and then you can also specify DNS 8.8.8.8. So for now we are using Google DNS server since we don't have a DNS server. Okay, then hit enter. We are good to go now. Then we can even do right as well. Okay, exit, then do right. Okay, so we are heading to this network. So this network as well, we have to exclude some IP addresses. IP DHCP pool, IP DHCP exclude 192.168.10. So we have 128. Okay, so we can say from 129, since 129 is the default gateway we have here, so up to 192.168.10. Let's say 132. Okay, then hit enter. Then we do DHCP IP DHCP pool. Okay, LAN, let's just call it LAN 4. Enter, then specify the network 192.168.10.128. So it's this one, space 255.255.255.224 as well. Enter. Then you can even specify defaults, which is going to be 192.168.10.161. Sorry, it's 129. Sorry, very sorry. 129. Then hit enter. Then we do DNS as well, 8.8.8.8. Then hit enter. Okay, so can you check if you have our IP address? Okay, desktop IP configuration, then we enable DHCP. Yes, we have it. Okay, as well here. What about here? So I have an IP address as well. DHCP request successful, as well as here desktop IP configuration, DHCP request successful. So as well as here, let's try to check DHCP. Yes, successful. So we are done with this 4 networks. We are going to this last one. So the last one, okay. So this is the last one we have here. So we need to do enable configure terminal, enter. IP DHCP I can exclude as well. IP DHCP exclude 192.168.10.225. I can set from 225 up to 192.168.10. 10.10.10.10.10.2 up to 230, let's say up to 230, then hit enter. Then we specify network. We specify the pool, IP DHCP pool. We're going to call it LAN 5. Then hit enter. The network will be 192.168.10.224. Okay. Then specify the subnet mask as well. Enter. Then we do default. Default will be 192.168.10.225. This will be the default router since we have configured this IP address here in this interface. First 0/0, then I need to hit enter. Okay, I need to hit enter, and then I need to specify as well DNS 0.8.8.8 enter, and then I need to save what I did. Right, done. So this PC, can it have a dynamic? Okay, fine. So successfully the DHCP was requested. So can we just be able to ping? So this has now has 231. So if I try to ping it from here, ping it has 231, no longer 226, just 231. Then I hit enter. So am I able to ping it now? So let's try to check. Yes, I'm able to ping it. Okay, so let me bring it back. I'm just going to have 100% of reachability. So allow me to ping as well. So allow me to ping as well this machine, which has 101 as an IP address. Okay, so let me have this 101, and then sorry, it's 101. Then hit enter. So am I able to ping? Let's check. Yes, I'm able to. So actually, you can just be able to ping from anywhere to anywhere. Okay. So the next step, I'm just going to add an access point, and I configure it so that I can have some machines to access that access point wirelessly. Okay. To do that, so I can just attach this. So I can attach that access point to this switch. Okay, so allow me to use this AP access point PT access point. Okay, and then I need to connect it to this switch. Okay, so let me connect it here, and then allow me to bring up some end devices. So let me bring this laptop. Okay, so by having this laptop here, so by default this laptop, they have a network interface card, so we need to change it to the wireless network interface card. Okay, so wireless. So for now, just this PC by default, they accept only Ethernet, this Ethernet. So we need to remove the network interface card of the Ethernet, and then we put the wireless one. How to do that? We need to click on this PC, and then you need to switch it to turn it off. So let me just zoom in. Okay, so you see we have it on, so we need to turn it off. Okay, by clicking on this button. So turn it on, then off. Okay, so you have to turn it off, and then you remove this. As you can see, we have first ETH0. So you need to remove this network interface card, remove it, and then you need to add this one. This one acts as a wireless network interface card. Then you turn it on. By turning it on, you see it's going to get the okay, fine. It's going to get the wireless connection. So we need to do the same on this router. I mean this PC. We need to zoom it in, then turn it off. By turning it off, I need to remove this network interface card. I add this one. Okay, then I turn it on. So am I able to access? Okay, fine. So this is how you can configure your access points. I mean the PCs to access your access points. But this is not actually a safe connection, because any PC can just access these access points. Okay, so we need to have like a password as well as SSID. Okay, so of course an SSID is the name of the network. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, like the way we do it at home. For your home routers, you need, for you to get connected to it, you have to put password. Okay, so you have to also configure these access points with that capability of allowing only the connections which has that authority. Okay, even your those routers or access points you have at your school, to access the internet from those access points or routers, you have to have the IP address of it. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So to do that, you need to click here. Okay, and then you come here on config, then port 1. Okay, so SSID by default it's made default, so let's just call it APADE. Okay, let's just call it APADE. Okay, fine. Okay, so you can just call it APADE, and then yes, we can just yes, we can just allow 6 maximum users. Okay, and coverage meters, we have this. Okay, so beyond this you can't be able to access. Okay, and we need to enable the password features. Okay, so we need to click here on WPA, then passphrase will be, let's just call it APADE, in small, APADE. Okay, APADE at 2025 with exclamation mark. Okay, then done. So as you can see, since we have configured it with the password, we no longer have access to the access points, unless we have to put the password as well as the what, as well as the SSID and password. Okay, so SSID is APADE. Okay, in capital, as well as, actually we don't have to put this, it will be there by default. What we only need to put is this password. Okay, to do that you need to click your laptop, then click on PC wireless. Okay, and then by having this, you need to click here on connect, then refresh to see whether you can see our network. Okay, you can see we have our network, so you need to click on it, then click connect. So you're going to get prompted to, will be prompted to enter the password. Okay, so password will be APADE, as we said, APADE at 2025 with exclamation mark. Okay, then you can connect. You see, I'm able to connect now. And then as well as on this PC, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, desktop, PC wireless, connect, then we need to refresh so that we can see the SSID name. Yes, we have it. Then you need to click on it, then connect, as well as you need to put the password as well. Okay, so password will be APADE at 2025 with exclamation, then connect. You see, it's going to also to access the network from the access points. So by having this done, now are we able to get the IP address automatically? Yes or no? Of course, yes. Because if we do ipconfig, see, the DHCP is enabled by default and we have an IP address. So we can ping any IP address. I mean, you can ping any device. Okay, we have subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server. We also have them here as well. Okay, so to test if we can be able to ping, so what's the IP address of this? Let me check again. It has 135. Okay, and this has 136, I think. Yes, so let me try to ping them from this PC. Okay, so if I do ping 192.168.10.1.5, am I able to ping it? Yes, I'm able to ping it. Okay, so let me ping 36 as well. Am I able to ping it? Let us check. Yes, we are able to ping it. So this is it for today. Please make sure you do the same thing as I have, and please by tomorrow I expect each and everyone to have this network topology up and running, like with all the configurations. Okay, since tomorrow we are going to start with another new um, uh, chapter, so I call upon each and everyone to have this done by today. Okay, so I know that I was so quick, so it's a video of course, so make sure you pause it and you do what I did exactly. Okay, so have a good day.